Hello, my friends, and welcome to another episode of SarahSpeaks Podcast, the podcast where we explore leadership, where we discuss timeless truths about success and how we can build ourselves up to succeed, not just in business, but in life. I am your host, Sarah Esangbedo Ajose Adiogun, and on today's episode, we'll be talking about another timeless truth and sharing 6 skills, 6 secrets that are essential if you want to succeed. These are habits that shape your destiny, that determine your trajectory in life, and that enables people move from being ordinary people to become extraordinary, high-flying, highly successful individuals. If you want to explore these timeless truths with me, please grab a cup of coffee, a glass of water, take a comfortable seat, your notepad and your pen, and let's begin. The first skill we'll be discussing today is communication. That is the skill that opens all doors. When you can communicate effectively, the world is your oyster. It is a skill that is necessary for life, for business, for parenting, for being a child, for succeeding in education, in business, in career. You must be able to communicate effectively. Let's talk about Martin Luther King. In 1963, he made the I Have a Dream speech, and he changed the course of history. He moved a nation to act through his words. He didn't have social media. He didn't have microphones everywhere. All he had were his words and his ability to communicate. And today, over 60 years later, we still talk about that speech because of the power of communication. He communicated hope. He communicated conviction. He communicated a vision. And he was able to get people to buy into it. And he started a movement that changed the course of history, that changed the nation, that changed the trajectory of an entire race. That is the power in communication. Proverbs 15:23 tells us that a man finds joy in an apt response, in an apt reply. Being able to respond effectively to situations, being able to communicate and drive your points with your fellow human beings. That is a veritable pathway to success. And we must remember that your words can inspire and your words can destroy. Your words can build and your words can pull down. How are you using your words? To encourage, to build up, or to destroy and put down? Because your words have power. And as businessmen, business people, we must learn to communicate effectively. Many times we hear about the Igbo trader that when you go to his shop, even though he doesn't have what you want, the way he welcomes you, the way he talks about his products, you might either buy something you don't need or you will wait for him to go and get what you need and bring it to sell for you. On the flip side, we talk about another race that when you go to their shops and you price their goods, they insult you to high heavens. And most of the time, people walk away without buying. That is the power in the way we use our voice. You can use it to pull customers in. You can use it to pull customers out. You can use it to influence clients to continuously patronize you. Or by one encounter, you can build a reputation that nobody wants to use you in the industry anymore. Communication is key, is king, if you want to succeed in life. Ask yourself, with all the tools available to us today to aid communication, podcasts like this, social media, how are you sharing your message? How are you communicating effectively in such a way that you can build and grow your business? That's why today we talk about social media influencers, on-air personalities. They are using the tools available to them to communicate effectively and grow their business. You can too, and so can I. And as we use our words and use the tools available to us, I hope we communicate for success and we communicate for growth. Another skill we must talk about today, that is a habit that is key for success, is the ability to manage your emotions. Emotional control. Countries die when their leaders lack emotional control. Wars are fought due to lack of emotional control. Families are destroyed due to lack of emotional control. Great success requires great composure. The person that will succeed is one that no matter what is happening around them, they have the presence of mind to be calm and to think before they respond. Many people rush to respond, and they respond in a way that destroys relationships, that destroys families, that destroys marriages, that kills businesses. Emotional control. The ability to take a deep breath and think before you respond. If you manage your emotions effectively, you will be able to manage your business and your life. Think of Nelson Mandela, 27 years in prison. He came out and chose reconciliation, not revenge. That is emotional control. Looking beyond the circumstances. What will enable me achieve my vision for my country? Let me take the road less traveled and tow a path of peace. And he did that, and today he has left his name etched in the sands of time. Whenever the story of South Africa is told for generations yet unborn, the story of Nelson Mandela will be told for good. Proverbs again tells us, better a man with self-control than the one that can take a country and a city. Better a patient person than a warrior. What does that mean? You might have all the resources available to you. You might have everything going for you, but one wrong reaction can bring the house crashing down. That's why you see families, after many years, they say, oh, the family is being torn apart. The children are going different ways. A calm word would have averted everything. The ability to stay calm in the midst of the storm would have averted everything. Emotionally mature people don't allow temporary reactions to destroy their destiny. They don't allow temporary reactions to destroy their enterprise. They pause, they respond, they don't react. Whatever the situation is, respond to the situation. Do not react emotionally. At times, some people are known for the way they react, and people set little traps for them, and they fall into it. Say, hey, you see I'm now. But when you respond, you are able to reflect, give a response that will disappoint your enemies. Whether you are running a business, leading a country, a town, a city, or raising a family, a calm word drives wrath away. Being emotionally mature will enable you succeed in any of these ventures. Many people have destroyed their homes and their children by their inability to manage themselves and their emotions. They react. You come home and everybody is running helter-skelter because they don't know your mood. They don't know what you are going to do. I see many women, you have a maid, come back, the maid didn't do what you asked her. Bah, whoa. This is somebody that cooks for you, that takes care of your children. And then we get upset when something happens to our children, forgetting that that maid is also somebody's child. Let us learn to manage our emotions, control ourselves, because that is the greatest discipline that anyone can have. The ability to control yourself, to remain calm in the face of storms, to be the one people look at, to say, where do we go? Because they know that no matter what is happening, you have a clear head, you have a calm spirit. The third habit we'll be talking about is decision making. Many businesses are never born because people fail to act. They have a vision, they have wonderful ideas, the ability to take a decision is missing. There is power in decisiveness. Procrastination is a killer. You must be able to take a decision. Many people give excuses. No, I couldn't take a decision. I couldn't see the full picture. I needed to see the full picture before I take a decision. Jeff Bezos once said that most decisions can be made with 70% of the information available to you. If you wait to know everything, you will never move. because things are not always so clear. As you are walking, as you are moving, things become clearer. Things begin to unfold. Imagine Abraham, Father Abraham. God told him, move, I will show you the city you will go to. And he moved. He didn't have a GPS, he didn't have a location, but he moved in faith. And today we celebrate him as the father of nations. If he did not move, we will not hear his name, we won't know about him. It's the same thing. God expects us to start. And as we start, he begins to unfold and reveal a more of his plans for our business, for our lives, for our homes. Jack Ma once said, smart decisions need logic. It's smart, it's logical. But great decisions need guts. You need to just move. You need to hit the nail on the head. You need to be decisive. Let's talk about Elon Musk. When he sold PayPal, he invested almost everything he got. He reinvested it in Tesla and SpaceX. And people thought he was crazy. He was mad. Why would you do that? It wasn't clear, the trajectory of those investments. But he made a decision. That's the first thing. He implemented and executed his decision. And he pursued the success of those companies with everything that he had. He was consistent. He was disciplined. And today, we talk about his success story. If he had not made that decision, we won't have anything to talk about. Winners chase progress, not perfection. It's about learning, relearning, unlearning, every day making a step. You will never have 100% certainty about any matter, but it's about making a move with the information that you have. The best decision you can make in that situation. And as you learn more, you might actually change that decision. You might actually reframe it. But you are not static. You are moving. And that movement, that consistency is what builds success. The fourth habit we'll talk about is adaptability. The one constant thing in life is change. And those who refuse to change, you are not going anywhere. If you do not evolve, you dissolve. You must be able to move with the time. What worked in 1960, that idea, that way of doing things, it definitely will not work in 2025. You must learn the new ways of doing things. What worked 50 years ago, the ideas that sold and became successful 50 years ago will not work in the world that we have today. We are in the AI generation. We talk about Gen Zs. You cannot be coming with the baby boomer mindset. You need to grow. You need to evolve. You need to begin to do things differently in line with the times. Only then can you succeed. Let's talk about Netflix, that started as a DVD video rental company. And today, because they made a decision and adapted to evolving technology, today Netflix is a multi-billion-dollar company. On the flip side is Columbia House, a CD rental company that refused to evolve into the mainstreaming music industry. And today, a company that was so successful in the 70s and the 80s is completely dead. One decision to go, one decision not to go. Very different outcomes. Adaptability. Today, we talk about BlackBerry. In the past, we talk about Nokia. Companies that refuse to change and adapt. We study them in business school because they tell a story of how to fail. If you look at individuals that have refused to adapt in their business, in their lives, in their family, you tell a story of individuals who have refused to succeed in life. Because adaptability is required for success. You must be able to unlearn the things that were necessary in the past. Learn new things. You must learn, unlearn, and relearn. Continuous learning, fully adaptable to the changes happening around you in your industry, in the world, if you will succeed. What does that mean? It means transformation is not a one-time event. You don't adapt and you've adapted for life. No. It's a lifestyle, a continuous improvement lifestyle, a continuous learning lifestyle, an innovative, continuous innovation lifestyle, knowing that what worked yesterday might not work today, and what works today might not work tomorrow. So you roll with the times. Even in our personal lives, adaptability is power. In every season of life, we must ask, what is this season trying to teach me? In every season of your business, what is it trying to teach you? You must learn from it, apply it, learn from the application, roll back or move forward. But whatever it is, you must be adaptable if you will succeed. Because change is the only constant in life. 5 is financial intelligence. For you to build wealth that lasts, you must be financially intelligent. You must have financial acumen. Money is not everything, but money touches everything. Money answereth all things. That's what the Bible says. Financial intelligence is not about how much you earn. It's about how much you are able to save, invest. It's about how you manage, multiply, and maintain your finances. It's about what you know about financial management. Because many people, the money comes, they spend it on wants, they spend it to impress, they spend it to enjoy, and then the money goes. Because if you do not have financial prudence and financial management and financial savvy, if you do not know how to manage, maintain, and grow wealth, when the money comes, it will also go. That is why those who build their wealth from scratch and grow, they are able to grow wealth that will outlive them. I always say that there is nothing like fast money. If there is fast money, everybody will have it. But those who follow the fast lane of life, thinking that you can just do it like that, it doesn't work. There's nothing like fast money. Wealth is built from the ground up. You must understand how money moves. You must understand your business and how to do business. You must understand investment principles, how to invest wisely. You must be able to budget and save strategically. You must be someone that plans for the future, for the long term, not just for this weekend. You want to have fun this weekend. What about in a year's time? Will you have enough resources to have fun for that weekend? Or what about 10 years' time? Are you planning for 10 years' time? Are you planning for your children's education? You started having the children now. They won't start school until they are 6 years old. Yes, they go to daycare and all of that. But by the time your wife is pregnant or you are pregnant, you know that in 9 months' time you are going to give birth, or your wife is going to give birth, and then people are running helter-skelter because they did not save for the delivery. Yes, when things go wrong and it's outside, we can understand. But you must plan. You must have a plan. You must be able to save. You must be able to store up wealth. People think about today. You want your child to go to the most expensive primary and secondary school. How are you going to pay? How is the child going to go to university? No, we don't plan. It's today and now. And then 30 years down the line, we are retiring and we suddenly realize that we don't have any savings, we don't have any investment, and then people die prematurely. We must be able to separate needs from wants. Buy assets, not liabilities, not consumable. We must think long term, in years and not in weekends. Proverbs tells us that the wise store up food. Growing up, we were told the story of the ants who worked during summer and stored up food so that during winter, when there was nothing left, they would not go hungry. Aliko Dangote did not build Africa's largest refinery or become Africa's richest man by idling away, by not knowing what to do with his resources. He became the richest man in Africa by investing strategically. One business after another, he grew wealth. Wealth is built from consistency, discipline, and control. Maybe people have, but I've not seen Aliko Dangote in a party spraying money and jumping all over the place and throwing money up to show that he has money. I've not seen him throw money on the floor and match it and video himself that I'm punishing money, I have money now. Yet he's Africa's richest man. That is why he is where he is today. He's growing wealth, not to impress, but to leave a legacy. Wealth is built from consistency, discipline, and control. The ability to earn before you spend. Too many people spend what they do not yet have. Spend on hope. For you to succeed in life, you do not spend what you have not earned. True wealth is built on habits and mindsets. The mindset of delayed gratification is key. Rather than spend the money in your hand now, you can invest it to grow before you spend in the future. That mindset is what enables people build wealth, and it requires discipline. The habit of spending to grow and not to impress is required for those who will succeed in life. Jack Ma once said that the day you stop working for money and money starts working for you, that is the day that you have succeeded. The question I will ask today is, are you working for money, or is money working for you? Because one thing I can tell you for free is that no business will succeed without financial discipline, without liquidity, cash flow, this life of business. And I'll talk about it in my next episode. What I want us to take from this is that for you to succeed in life, you must have a mindset that sees money as a roof to growth, not a route to excessive spending and enjoyment. Because too many of us remain where we are or even fail because we have not learned to manage our resources effectively. Financial intelligence is key for success. And the sixth habit is the habit of acting, execution. For you to turn your ideas into impact, you must execute, you must implement. This is the final, but I would say the most important skill. Ideas and vision are in the esoteric realm. For you to be able to bring that vision to life, you must execute. You must act. You must do. It is important. The world does not pay you for intention. I intended to do this. I intended to do that. Intention does not produce results. Execution produces results. And whether you are working for somebody, whether you are studying, whether you are doing business, working for yourself, without execution, there are no outcomes. Without outcomes, there cannot be success. Execution turns dreams into results. We must remember, Steve Jobs started from a garage. If he was waiting for the right conditions to be able to rent an office, to be able to buy the latest gadgets, furnish the place very well, he would not have started. He started with what he had. What do you have? Start from where you are. Many business ideas die because people want to show off. They want to impress. How can I be doing business in this kind of location? I need to move to Ikoyi or VI. I need a proper office. My friend, convert your parlor to an office and start the business. You want to sew? You can sew in the bedroom. Go and meet your customers, collect the materials, come home, sew, deliver back. I have tailors that I've only met once when they came to take my measurements. I've never been to their shop, but they have a thriving business. Many people are sending clothes to them. They are bringing it back. The days of Uber courier, Bolt courier is here. Use it effectively. Use social media. When Jack Ma started Alibaba, he didn't have investors. In fact, I've forgotten the name of the lady, one of his shareholders today, I think the highest female shareholder in his company, that was working for him. There were months he couldn't pay her, and for not being able to pay her, he would give her a small percentage of Alibaba, and she stayed. And today she's enjoying the dividend. If Alibaba was waiting, if Jack Ma was waiting to have all the investors that will enable him start Alibaba the way he wanted to start it, we will not have Alibaba.com today. J.K. Rowling, for many years, all she had to show for her Harry Potter dream was letters of rejection. But she kept going. She kept tweaking. And today we talk about the successful Harry Potter series. But if she had left that idea in her head and had not written the Harry Potter book and had not taken it from publisher to publisher to get it published, tweaking, working, turning the idea into execution, nothing will happen. She will still be struggling. Or let's come home. Let's talk about Cosmos Maduka, Coach Charis, grade 3 education, not from a rich family. The money was not there to start the business, but he had conviction, he had discipline, and he had a vision, and he worked at it. And today, we'll talk about Coach Charis, we talk about Cosmos Maduka, we'll talk about someone being in bank boards that does not have secondary school leaving certificates. Meanwhile, many people with their degrees and masters and certifications, you are unable to get board seats. But because of what he has been able to achieve through execution, implementation, he's in boards today, bank boards, blue chip company boards. People invite him to the biggest conferences to come and speak in gatherings where we have Harvard and Stanford graduates because he executed. That's the power of execution. It turns ordinary men into extraordinary human beings, because they were able to take the ordinary and make it extraordinary. Today in business schools, we talk about Dangote. He has done the extraordinary, Africa's richest man. We talk about Elon Musk. We talk about his work habits. Even though some of it seems crazy, how can you break down your day into seconds and minutes and be able to walk through it? But he did it, and he's been able to build success out of it. When you succeed, the world celebrates with you. When you succeed, you belong to the whole community. The man that fails, even his father and his mother, they are ashamed. Without execution, there is no success. Let us always remember, God gives ideas. He doesn't give income. God does not pay anybody salary, but he gives you ideas. He gives you vision. That's when you implement, and success comes. God gives opportunities. He needs you to harness those opportunities for success. God does not give overnight success. Anywhere they tell you that this miracle just come when you enter like this, something will happen, is not of God. Don't go there. God gives opportunities. He wants you to harness those opportunities. He wants you to be disciplined. God works based on principles, and we must all beware. Laziness wears many disguises. It comes as procrastination. I will do it tomorrow. I'm working on it. I'm reading now. I'm preparing. You are procrastinating, postponing. And suddenly you are 40, you are 50, you are 60, and you never started. Laziness comes as fear of failure. No, I just want it to be perfect. I don't want to start and then fail and start again. Start, fail forward, learn from the failure, re-implement, move on. There is nothing that happens that has not happened before. You failed, and so move on. Try again. You learned something. By starting and failing, you are not where you were yesterday. You have learned a new skill. You have gotten information that when you implement, you will do better next time. Laziness always also comes as perfectionism. I want to get it right. I don't want to make any mistake. It needs to be, 100%. Please, let's follow the Pareto principle, 80-20. 20% of the work that will give you 80% of the result. Follow the Pareto principle. Don't wait for 100%. People plan. Hey, when you see them, they are planning, no action. Planning without action means no movement, stagnation, retrogression. Because if you are in the same spot tomorrow where you are today, you are not standing on the same spot because the person that was on that spot with you has moved forward. You are retrogressing. Ideas without execution equals to empty prayers, because even the Bible tells us that faith without works is dead. It's not alive, it's completely dead. You cannot have faith, and that faith will not spur you to action. Faith gives us the courage to act. It gives us the temerity to dare. It gives us the impetus to do. That is what faith is. Start now. Every step is a step in the right direction. Because when you learn and you fail forward and continue moving, success will surely find you. Let's recap. 6 habits for success. Let's do this together. Number 1, communication. It is a life skill. It is the ability to communicate, connect, and inspire. Number 2, emotional control. You must master yourself before you master the world. A calm word drives away wrath. Too many people have destroyed their lives because they were unable to control their emotions. Emotional control is a key skill for success in life, in business, in parenting, in your career. Emotional control. Skill number 3, decision making. We must be able to decide. Move in faith, not in fear, not stupidly, but with wisdom. Number 4, adaptability. You must be able to change with the times, because change is the only constant thing in life. You must learn, unlearn, relearn, reinvent, and innovate. 5, financial intelligence. The ability to grow wealth through wisdom and discipline. Knowledge of financial principles. The ability to make money work for you, not you working for money. And number 6, and very important, execution. We must be able to turn intention to impact. We must be able to turn idea to product. We must be able to birth our vision in the physical. Success does not come to the smartest or the richest. It comes to those who execute, those who are disciplined, consistent, and act with wisdom. So this week, don't just plan, do. Don't just dream, act. And don't just wish, work. Because at the end of the day, it is what we do that determines the altitude that we can ascend to in life. Thank you for joining me today on the SarahSpeaks Podcast, and I hope this episode resonated with you. If it did, please subscribe, like, and share with a friend or a colleague, a family member who you know needs to hear this. Someone who needs to pull themselves out of the drudgery that they've dug themselves to in life, and through decision and action, begin a new trajectory in life. One of success, one of breakthrough, and one of building a legacy that will surely outlive them. Until next time, keep leading, keep learning, and keep living with purpose. Because with this, success will definitely find you. Take care.